So far so good. Let's go into this pre-composition. We're going to duplicate this layer and let's do RotoBrush again. Same thing that we learned earlier. I'm going to RotoBrush the car out. Click your RotoBrush and double click that duplicated layer. Now let's mask it. Same settings apply. Zoom out, let's go all the way to the end and let's let it render. If you ever have problems with this RotoBrush, you could hold Alt to delete it, or you can fill it in. Let's go back to our pre-comp now. Now that this is masked, let's duplicate this. You can rename this layer by right-clicking, rename, and we'll put effect layer. For this effect, we're going to look up displacement map. Drag displacement map to your effect layer, go to the beginning of your footage. Let's keyframe max horizontal and max vertical. Set these to 0 at the beginning, go towards the end of your clip. Let's set this first value to about 200. Let's set the second value to around -1000. Let's save this. Let's go to our main comp and see what it looks like. Our clip's a little short, but that's okay. We'll just extend this. Whenever you're editing, things always change, so it's always good to work in a pre-compositions so you can adjust whenever you need to. Let's open up our keyframes by pressing U and make sure we drag these to the end. I'm also going to go to where the end of this footage ends. I'm going to open up the pre-comp. I'm going to press U on the effects layer. And I'm going to drag these out as well. I'm not going to put it exactly at the timeline, but I'm going to put it a little more out. Let's save this and go back to our comp 1. Let's see what it looks like now.
It don't matter why I started, it just matter why I'm...
Looks pretty good to me. Let's add some more effects to this background layer. Let's click on our effect layer. Let's go down to stylize and let's go to glow. Let's drag that on. And let's adjust some of these settings to make this look better. The first thing I like to adjust is the radius. Let's bring the threshold down a little bit. Intensity down a little bit since we will be color grading this and this will probably be brighter. We're going to change original colors to A and B colors and just choose whatever colors you'd like. For me, I'm going to go with a purple and a blue. Go to the beginning of your effects layer. Let's keyframe color loops. Let's go to our last keyframes and let's change this to 3. That'll add a little pulse effect. Let's save this. Let's go to our main composition and see what we have.
It don't matter why I started, it just matter why I'm... Don't matter why I started, it just matter why I'm...
And to make our reel more interesting, I'm going to do the same effect to the beginning of our first clip. Since we already pre-composed our first clip and we already masked our layer, we'll do the same thing. We'll duplicate our masked layer. We'll rename this to effects layer. Let's go to that last composition we just did. And instead of redoing all the effects, we're going to copy these and paste them. To copy the keyframes and the effect, we're going to go up here to the effects control, select both. We're going to press Control C. We're going to go back to our first clip, open it, go to the beginning of that clip, and Control V. Now let's adjust our keyframes and put it towards the last keyframes. Make any adjustments you need. For me, I'm going to lower the car a little bit. Now that we duplicated our effect, let's see what we have. So I don't like that it ends right here, so I'm going to go back into my keyframes and I'm going to drag all these keyframes a little more out. Let's go back to Comp 1 and let's preview it. Everything looks good so far, but let's make one more transition to this drop. We're going to mask the car out again, and we're going to do the same effect that we did over here. So let's duplicate this. Let's go to time, freeze frame. Let's drag this out 5 frames again. Snap it there, and we're going to put these 2 keyframes at the end. Make sure these keyframes on both layers align. We'll trim this clip now, and delete these last 2 keyframes since we don't need it, and we can unkeyframe. When you unkeyframe, make sure you're selected on the keyframes you want it to stay at. We'll unkeyframe that, go to the beginning, and let's go freeze frame. Now we can mask this clip. Now that it's masked, let's do our feather, put this to 5. For this transition, you can have it come from any direction, but I want to show you how to do a scale as well. So let's keyframe scale, drag that key point to the end, make sure it lines up with these keyframes, and you also want to make sure it's the same value as this scale. This scale is 100, so we're good. Go to the beginning, let's set this to 0. Select both these keyframes and let's go ease ease out. Let's see what it looks like.
Don't matter where I started, it just matter where I'm headed.
Everything looks good. Let's add in our next clips. Let's align these. Let's pre-compose this. Stabilize. Drag it back out. And trim it. We're going to keyframe scale and rotation again. Let's make sure all these layers are muted as well.
Just matter where I'm headed. Don't matter where I started, it just matter where.
You can do the same freeze frame effect for this clip, but for this one, I'm going to keep it clean and I'm going to finish the timeline. For this clip here, I don't plan on doing any effects, so I'm not going to pre-compose it. I am going to reverse it though. And I'm going to slow it down by 200. So we're going to change this to negative 200. Scale and rotate as well.
Headed, I just told my look. I'm headed, I just.
And we're going to stabilize. This clip, we're going to do that ghost effect one more time, so let's pre-compose this. We're going to trim our comp to the end of this clip. You might not need to do this, but we're going to go O-N and Control-Shift-X. Let's go into here, and let's rotor brush this car as well. Make sure we stabilize first. Wait for the stabilization to finish, and then we can mask it. Just make sure everything's good. Adjust these values. Let's go back to the pre-comp. Duplicate this. Hide the rotor brush on the bottom layer. Duplicate your mask. Rename this to effects layer. Let's go to our other effect we did. Let's copy these. And we'll paste them in here. We're going to bring these keyframes to the end since we're using the whole clip. We're going to add one more effect to this. And we're going to go down to Distort, and go down to Turbulent Displace. Drag that onto your layer. Go to the beginning. Keyframe amount. Go towards the end. Increase this value. Let's decrease the size a little bit. And increase the complexity. Evolution, we're going to set it around 90. Go to the first keyframe. Now that we have our displacement, let's see what it looks like.
It don't matter where I started, it just matter where I'm headed. I just told my little bro we coming unapologetic.
For this one, I'm going to do a zoom out. So we'll make these keyframes, and we'll put them towards the end. Rotate in the beginning as well. So far, everything looks great. What I don't like is this first effect we did. As I said before, it's great working with pre-comps because you can always change these. Instead of deleting it, we could just hide this adjustment layer. We'll save it. Go to our comp and see what it looks like now.